Hello, magical family. I'm Savina, and welcome back to the Witching Hour. Today's video is a fun one. I'm gonna kind of talk to you about how to plan like the ultimate Harry Potter themed birthday party. But before getting into it, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button, and if you do, thank you. My niece just turned 8, and she just had the most amazing Harry Potter birthday. And I didn't think I'd be this into it. Obviously, you know I love Harry Potter, but it was just so much fun, I think, for both the kids and myself. So she just got into Harry Potter. She's reading the books. She really loves them. She knew she wanted a Harry Potter themed birthday. Her mom found this amazing person. They decided to do like a slumber party with like her cousins. And this company, and I will link her info down below when I get it, they actually set up these like amazing themed tents in like the living room for all the kids. And she did Harry Potter, of course. It looked so cool. She had like the house banners and little lanterns that lit up, and on the outside the tents they had like fairy lights that lit up, and it was so perfect. Her parents actually got some other decor, and they found like the Hogwarts castle, and they posted up right behind like where the tents are. Again, I'll try to get pictures in for you guys, and it just felt so magical. Now, decoration is one thing, and if you need help there, yes, feel free to reach out to me, because I also set up some of my magical Harry Potter stuff. Of course, I have a ton. So I picked some of my favorite stuff and took it over there. Now, when it came to keeping them entertained, and I'm just going to share what I did, and it worked perfectly. So the age range for this, right, and was 4 years old or 3 years old to 10, and every single one of them was entertained and captivated. And if you're struggling, if you have a kitty, niece, anybody that wants a party like this but you don't really know how to do it, this is definitely the video for you. Her mom is also a big Harry Potter fan, but they're crazy busy. She didn't really know what to do. She took care of like the tent stuff. She bought them like Harry Potter pajamas to change into, which was super cute, and she bought Harry Potter goodie bags. And she turned to boyfriend and I and was like, okay, what can we do? So right off the bat, I knew I wanted to sort them and try to make things as magical as possible, and we did. I will tell you this now. Sorting them into their houses is the best thing you can do. Also, rewarding house points. If you need to know how to keep the kitties in check, house points was like a lifesaver. I'm telling you, I had so much power that day. So this is what we did. They came in, I explained to them the rules. I explained to them about the houses first, about the 4 houses. Some of them knew about Harry Potter already. Some of them didn't really know much, they're so little. So I explained to them about the houses. I explained to them that no house is better than the other. They're going to get sorted into their houses. I explained to them that I have no control over what house they get sorted into. And this is how we did. So we set up a little stool, like a regular stool from their house. I have a witch's hat, and I actually found on YouTube the sorting hat just saying the 4 houses, so Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Hufflepuff. And what we did, and there's a couple seconds between each, I randomly picked a kid to come up on the stool. We placed the sorting hat on their house. They had a little speaker that was also shooting up lights to the ceiling, which was really nice. And that's where the house came through, and it felt magical. You know, they didn't know where the voice was coming from, so they loved that, even the big kids. Now, to make it extra magical, it was staying in character per se the entire time. So the minute they walked in and I told them about the houses and them getting sorted. It was so cool to see. If you hear the loudness, I apologize. It was so cool to see them get like anxious and nervous and excited to get sorted about which house they're gonna be in. And it was almost like the movies or what you picture in the book, and it was really fun to see. Now when they got called up and I slowly put the hat on their head, and we gave it a couple seconds. I had boyfriend in the background queuing in which house, and they were sorted. And they all watched everybody get sorted, and they clapped and they cheered, and it worked so well, guys. Like, it was way better than I could have expected. And again, it's just setting that theme. When you really take that time, it's perfect. What we also did was give them wands. So we did the wand chooses you, and again, they loved it. Found a company on Etsy. They do like play wands, and I ordered, they have like different kinds, and I just made sure to put in the messaging to please make everyone slightly different. They could be close, but just make them slightly different. They did. I will link them in my description as well. Now the wand part was very easy. We had them stand up now, so after getting sorted, like I said, the outside of the tents had their banner for which house they belonged to, so they all got to pick their tents according to house. And for the wand chooses you, I quickly explained to them that wands are very magical, and they choose the wizard. Each wand is special and different, and they choose who they belong to. That's kind of all you really need to say, as long as you make it feel magical and you make everything kind of feel real in a sense. So I told them I'm going to go up to each one of them, and I had all the wands in my hand. I also eliminated them trying to be like, oh, I want this one, I want this one. You're in full control of everything, so it works perfectly. So I would randomly select a wand. What I also did was find a noise on YouTube, and it's called like fairy sounds, and just slightly like whimsical magical noise. So I told them when they get the wand, when I hand them a wand, they need to do a swish and flick movement, right? So I had them practice without a wand, and I told them this is what we're gonna do when I hand you a wand. And I told them when you're given a wand, we will find out if it's yours or not. So when we put it in the hand, and again, you play with it. You could do it on the first one, second, third. You mix it up for all of them, and it's fairly quick as well. So trust me, it's so worth it. So you have them hold the wand and swish and flick. So if you hear nothing, it's not your wand. So we say, okay, we're gonna try again. And I, kind of get into it a little bit and listen to the wand and then hand it off to them. And then when you swish and flick, you hear the magical little noise when it is their wand. And again, the cheering and the clapping, perfect. Now, after the sorting and the wand, I explained how house points work. This is going to be your kicker here. I explained we roughly had 2 kids per house. I explained to them that why they will gain and lose points. Obviously, they'll gain points for sharing, being kind, helping, listening the first time, answering questions, things like that. They'll get points, and they will lose points if they break the rules, they're bullying, not listening, etc. And that's what's gonna keep them in check this entire time, because they were so excited. Now, my own spin on it as well, again, so I don't think I mentioned this to you when it came to planning this. I was just looking through what other people did, and I kind of picked the best of what I liked and then put my own spin on it, and I think it worked really well. Now, they all knew they were gaining and losing points, but then I made it the fact to tell them. And remember, it's a sleepover, but if it's just a day thing, you can make it till the end of the party or whatever the case may be. I told them that each house needs to have at least 20 points. Each house. And here was the kicker. I told them there was a magical scavenger hunt, which yes, I did make as well, for the next day for them to do. And I said the only way they'll be able to do the magical scavenger hunt is if each house has 20 points. Now, for them to be able to do it, all 4 houses had to hit 20 points. So it didn't really matter in that sense, especially for the younger kids. Obviously, it just works well that way. So they also try to get everybody to listen because they know it's kind of collective what's going on here. And that, in a nutshell, works perfectly. Now, when it comes to activities and things for you to do, so you can make anything magical. You really can. It's just the story you put behind it. So I found these like little fairy crowns or flower crowns you can make. I know you see them all the time. And it had like flowers and like wreaths, and they could each make their own. No glue, no glitter, no crazy mess. It worked perfectly. They each get to design their own. They were so excited. Now, to keep the theme rolling, because you want to tie everything into Harry Potter, right? I told them a magical story. We called it herbology because we were dealing with flowers and plants. And I told them a magical story about fairies and garden gnomes and why we were creating our flower wreath. And then when we were finished creating our flower wreaths, I had them take it back to their tents. And then they each had to come up with their own magical spell to lock in the power, if you will, for the magic wreath. They loved it. Now, carry on for activities. Then they also had potions. And what they did in potions, there's just like a kit you could find. And they had recipe cards on them. But kind of changed it up a bit and told them they each need to make their own kind of potion, and they need to name it and tell us what it does, and they could tell us the ingredients they put inside. And again, they all loved that. Before we even got to the activities, I think it's also important to tell you, so afterwards I took them around and had them play with their wands a little bit and showed them the movement, swish and flick, and how to do it with feeling. Again, they loved it. Then I had like a little area set up with my like Harry Potter stuff, so some of my favorite potions, including like polyjuice, flue powder, a couple things like that, and I let them touch it. I had my chocolate frog in there, which they went crazy for. Any little knickknacks you have, I let them look at everything, touch everything, shake my color changing potions. I told them about polyjuice potion, I told them about the flue powder and what it does, and then that way they was kind of geared already for the potions class. I had my denoming spray from like LitJoy, and I told them about that. So then we went to herbology and I tied that in. It also worked. So again, as much as you could keep the story involved, it's so good. So herbology, we did potions. They also did like magical creatures, but what they did was create magical creatures from clay. You know, like the air dry clay. I love doing that. They were able to create creatures from Harry Potter or come up with their own creatures. These activities took span from one day to the next. If you are able to manage all in one day, you pick and choose your favorite. Now, another one we wanted to do but we did not get to do, and my plan was to do Defense Against the Dark Arts, but a water balloon fight. So what you do is on the water balloons, you actually write spells like Stupefy, Expelliarmus, etc., whatever you want on there, and it's really fun. You fill them up, you give them the rules, obviously, you know, face or head, and you have them throw at each other, water balloon fight, but before they throw the balloons, they have to say the spell on the balloon, so you'll hear them go back and forth, and I thought that was really cute. So, Defense Against the Dark Arts, training, if you will. Then, the magical scavenger hunt, and again, this worked like a charm. So the scavenger hunt is something I came up with myself. I made 10 clues, and what was really fun was I got, you know, the old-fashioned keys and the wings. You could find them anywhere, Etsy, Amazon, and you could put them together yourself. So I got magical keys for them, and I glued on the wings. I did not string them, I glued them because it was way faster. Hot glue, save yourself. And I attached them to the clues, and they had to find 10 keys, 10 flying keys. And I made the clues myself. I hid them around. they had to work together. And again, this is only because they hit their 20 points. And at the end of it, what they got for collecting the 10 keys and bringing them back to me was their goodie bags, which was Harry Potter goodie bags, which was filled with a lot of little goodies, including glasses, slime, candy, little things like that. So we didn't have to go out and get something extra or something they was already gonna get, but it was a fun way to throw it out there. That kept them busy. And then because there was a group of them, you have them work together, I made them purposely challenging, and they really had to think about it. I think it took them 10 clues, around an hour, if not longer, and it was great. Now, we ended the whole Harry Potter extravaganza, if you want to say, watching Harry Potter, of course. It's the best thing to do. Oh, also, with the scavenger hunt, I also had extra Birthdae bots, the small boxes, so they each got one. And right before they watched the movies, they took turns trying them. That was really funny to see. I would say have fun with it, because the more fun you have, the more fun they have. When you stay in character, it's great. All the adults there, we were professors, and we all had the power to give and take away points, so that was really helpful. I asked them questions about things I explained or parts of my story to see if they was paying attention. They got points for that. So again, we had herbology with the flower wreaths and the fairy story, potions, magical creatures with the clay. We did not get to do, but I wanted to do the water balloon fight for defense against the dark arts. And then the magical scavenger hunt around the house for the flying keys. It's fun to like let loose a little bit, and I swear I created some Potterheads. I kid you not, there was like this little 3-year-old, I want to say he's 3 or 4, and in his tent in the corner, he was practicing swish and flick with his wand and was saying Wingardium Leviosa, guys. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. You see them practicing spells and like getting excited and talking about everything. And there's just a big hit across the board, and I'm talking anywhere from the smallest one to the 10-year-old. They all loved it. Ever since then, I kept thinking about it. I'm like, how many people try to throw a party like this and don't know what to do? And just my gears kept spinning. So if you need help on that, feel free to message me, comment down below, email me. I would gladly help. Everything we used, if you're in the New York area, it could be helpful to you. I will link it below. Etsy ones, I'm pretty sure you could get wherever you are. So I'll link them as well. It also had me thinking of ways to make it into like an adult party, and I think that's coming next, because an adult themed Harry Potter party I think will be amazing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a sleepover, but I could take the same kind of spin, like potions could be drinks, magical creatures could still be like clay or do something fun. I don't know, you tell me if that's something you'd be interested in, because I have not stopped thinking about it. It's successful when everybody and all the little kids kept coming up to you, and at the end you kept hearing best birthday party ever, especially birthday girl. That made me so happy. And to kind of just spread that light and like magic to somebody else, like a new generation in a way, it felt so cool. It was pretty surreal, and I would love to do that again. I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning I was intimidated and thought it was gonna be pretty scary, but it was a blast. It was exhausting after the fact. Yeah, I was tired, but it was so worth it. Let me know if this is helpful for you guys. Let me know if the adult theme party is something you'd be interested in, because I might have to do that, honestly. Maybe for my birthday. Anyways, with that being said, parents, if you're having a Harry Potter themed birthday, you are already in the right direction. Hopefully this is helpful. Anyways, I hope you're doing well, staying safe, and until next time, guys.